Hello and welcome to The Crazy Train. I'm your host Rob Wade and with me is Brad Harmer Barnes.
This is going to say crackerjack timing, Wang.
Alright. It's Wade, but good effort. Ömer Ibrahim.
I have not been here in a while and I do not know what's going on.
And Blake Harmer.
Yes, no, maybe. I don't know. Will you repeat the question? We're on the crazy train now. We're on the crazy train now. We're on the crazy train now, and we're not that big.
God,
I'm not a centaur.
I've forgotten.
Yeah.
Oh God. What
So yeah, Amy. Sorry,
It's your fridge reversing.
no, that's the dishwasher.
Reversing.
We may just have to deal with that for a little while.
You really don't know how to work appliances, do you?
Yeah. Oh yeah, no. The problem is, even if I open it, it will still just make that noise
okay.
after a couple of minutes. So just best to just leave it.
Piss off, dishwasher.
It's an attention grab. It shuts up after a while.
It's backing up. He'll do it anyway.
Yeah. It's backing up at an incredibly slow speed because we've been here like 8 months and I haven't seen it move.
You leave it long enough, it just goes to its room and starts playing Linkin Park.
That's stardom right there.
Continental drift washer.
Fucking hell.
Jesus Christ. I'm leaving. Why did I come
go.
here?
You just got back.
Simon, you've been away for ages.
Yeah, where did I go?
I don't know. I kept inviting you. And
Yeah,
you
I know,
I have other stuff to do.
Yeah, I've this little,
Show off.
what do you call it? A baby.
Baby.
I had a daughter, so
Yes.
that kind of gets
I
in
don't
the
know
way.
if you've ever mentioned it on the show while you were away. I think we just kind of kept it stum just
in
'cause
case,
It's
yeah.
obviously, you know.
Well, I have a little daughter called Daisy. She's 9 months old, nearly 9 months old now.
Yeah.
And I think maybe Charlotte may have only just been pregnant the last time I recorded.
That sounds
Thinking
possible.
about it.
Yeah.
So that's been a gap. And obviously, pregnant Mrs. gets in the way, and then baby gets in the way because she's bigger, so we don't fit through doors together.
That's the worst edit of Jurassic Park I've ever heard.
It's not.
No.
You've
That's
not
the
seen
one with the melodica.
Yeah. And then I had a daughter, and obviously that takes up a lot of time. And only sort of now is she getting to the age where I still feel guilty, like, it's the evening now, so I've left Charlotte to put her to bed. I still feel guilty about living on her own, but I feel I can. Do you know what I mean? She's not at the age where horrible things can happen
She's
suddenly.
9 months, cut the cords.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
I do still feel guilty. I hate leaving her constantly.
No,
I would be with her 24/7.
It's a fatherhood thing.
Yeah, exactly. But I feel like go out for an evening and enjoy myself. So, I'm not going to do it like 4 or 5 times a week. I'm probably not going to do it more than once a week.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's fair. At the minute she's teething and etc. etc. So it's just not fair to leave Charlotte. I know she can handle it. I know she can do everything she needs.
Yeah.
But I just don't like leaving her to it. If Daisy's crying, I feel like I should be there to help as well as her
Fair
mum.
enough. Yeah.
It's a 50-50.
Obviously,
We're a
Your
team.
girlfriend can go out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, entirely the other way. Yeah.
Just wrestle the
Yeah,
baby.
she goes. Yeah, yeah. She's been out to a couple
How
of
many
things.
times has that little title belt changed hands?
We do.
Because I would totally be like, count it.
when she was a little
Do
bit
5.
smaller, like a couple of months old. So
Oxbober.
nightly routine is that we go up, get her into her pajamas, take her upstairs, put her into her pajamas, and then we sit on me and Charlotte's bed, have a little bit of milk, and cool.
What about Daisy?
Yeah.
Good time.
She kind of cools down a
I
little
feel like
bit.
we're forgetting something. What's that crying
Lay
sound?
down on the bed, have a little middle, get down to now.
We just call it and calm it, and then eventually she'll fall asleep and we put her to bed.
Yeah.
She goes to bed and then falls asleep, whatever. But it always used to be the thing, like, between getting her changed and then taking her onto our bed, I would always be like, the way we would sit on the bed would be that I'd go to do a wrestling move and she'd reverse it.
Right.
So I'd go do a choke slam, she'd spin it round into a DDT, and she's just giggle her face. Now as she gets a little older, she understands.
That it's a work.
Is it anything
She understands.
you won't sell?
She understands that we are playing rather than just like when they're really little. It's just like, here's the thing I'm doing. Okay, this is what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
So you can throw them on the bed and then give them some milk and they'll get tired. Now, if I were to throw her on the bed and then try to give her milk, she'd be like, "No, we're playing.
Right.
I'm not ready for bed yet."
I think I understand. Yeah.
So like now I can't do it as much, but
She's
we do.
leveled up.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
She understands. But yeah, no, we wrestle quite a bit, like almost daily. She pins me almost daily now. It's quite funny.
It's like you're wrestling again.
Yeah, staring at the
Most of-
lights.
yeah, I was gonna say
While
most of the
somebody
time on your
dribbles
back.
over the top of me.
Man, you never told some of those stories, I'm guessing.
Time I fought the dribbler. It was Memphis in '83.
I got dribbled by Jimmy Snooker.
God, I don't think I can talk about him anymore.
No.
Oh, it's all gone a bit horrible with him, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, it's why I've retired my Cosby
God, do you
impression.
like any
Yeah.
wrestlers that aren't murderers?
I know, right? Jesus.
Yeah, it's for similar reasons I've had to retire my Cosby impression. Because the old drink this line.
His story's
You know, so don't do the didgeridoo bit anymore.
Yeah.
his story's just so sad because it's like, okay, there may be a murder case, he may have murdered somebody, whatever, but also they've deemed him too basically senile to be able to defend himself from all. It's just there's no level of that story that isn't really
That's
sad.
really quite sad,
Like,
yeah.
okay, so you may be a murderer and you can't defend yourself because you're now basically
Your brain's
rotten in the
mush,
head.
yeah.
Wow, there's nothing good coming out of this.
No. It's similar to what
Is it
happened.
your anecdote? That's nice.
Yeah.
It's similar to what happened with Name Redacted.
Yeah.
Jimmy Snooker's here diving off the ropes.
We're talking
There's
about.
about 5 people that might get that.
Yeah,
That's what
mate,
it is.
we're talking about the record before the recording. I feel sorry for Our Lady Peace because they can't play that song anymore, and it's a really good song.
It is a good song.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a good little like kind
Just-
of new metalish song, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
What's it called?
Oh, man.
whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah,
That's it.
it's like 2004, 2005.
Yeah,
so-
yeah. He used that like until the end, until he died. Really,
Till his last
They
match.
gave it to
Here's a
him.
tip for you: go onto Spotify, go to New Metal, and press shuffle all. It sounds like the best wrestling pay-per-view ever.
I did because it was 16 years since it was talking about Linkin Park. It was 16 years since Hybrid Theory came out, which was the fastest selling debut
It was-
album of its time.
Oh, well, okay.
It's still the fastest selling metal or alternative or whatever
Really?
album.
That must piss Alanis Morissette off.
Yeah, well, I saw I saw on Facebook that it was the 6. So I thought,
was big.
go on Spotify and give
Yeah,
it a
it was
listen. And now, like, I had the album when it came out. Like, that was one of my very first, like, get sort of parts into metal
Tony's
and
my
that.
first metal album.
Yeah. And like musically, it's great.
Now it's just stuff for dishwashers.
Yeah. No, it's still like, I mean, you got the angst of like the kind of like it's going to my bedroom because my girlfriend dumped me kind of angst, but
Yeah.
musically and like there's a lot of rap metal fusion at the time, and that it didn't work. But in that album,
That was one of
they
the
were
better
one of the
ones,
very
yeah.
few bands that
Make it
I
work.
go back now, and I'm not going to be at something. There's some people that never kind of grow up from that style of music and still listen to it daily, weekly. They listen to the music when they were 14, and that's it. It's all I listen to. I'm not going to be listening to it once a week, but I listened to the album like maybe 2 or 3 runs through at work, and I was like, oh, that's a good album. I can see why I enjoyed that so much.
Yeah.
Just really weird, like revisiting it.
Actually, a bit of a birthday tradition. When I say every day on my birthday, I'll go back and listen to albums I enjoyed when I was younger and see. And
Oh,
it's
cool.
really fun
Yeah.
to go back and see which ones you still like, which ones you like but for
Yeah,
different
yeah.
reasons.
Yeah.
Which ones you just like. And when they're awful, that's so much fun as well.
Yeah. I do a similar one on New Year's Day. I always make the first song I listen to, like purposely. Obviously, you'll be listening to the radio or the TV will play because you're watching the New Year's turnover. The first song I will purposely listen to. It's not that I have the same song, but I pick a good start to the year.
Right.
Just a little thing. Like it might be like when we say
That
come to
runs in
yours.
Spaceman.
Yeah, like we've been to Brad's for like New Year's before and stuff like that, and it might be like I'll make sure I've got a CD in the car for the way home.
Right.
So the first song I listen to is that. I think it's been various things, Tourist House or Sabaton, or when I was younger, probably something like Linkin Park. I've done that for years actually. It's weird. I don't think about it as a tradition until you mentioned doing that for your birthday. That it's a thing I always think about. Like start the year off good musically, like well musically.
Thinking if it was me and I was in the car and that was in the same situation, it was just the CD I had in the car, it would be the B-52s. Nice.
Yeah, that's
I'm
not too
alright
bad.
with that, actually.
Right now I've got a Sabaton live album, so
Okay.
that would work.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I don't normally like live albums, but they're such a good live band that it's
it
perfect
makes sense,
because
yeah.
it translates.
I'm
I
not.
think with a live album, they've got to be doing something different.
Yeah.
For it to, like Metallica's one they did with the
Yes.
San Francisco
Yeah,
Symphony
that's
Orchestra.
it.
It
First Metallica
doesn't
album.
always work, but at least they did something
Have you,
different. It's
heard-
not just the same songs with lower sound quality.
Yeah. Have you heard the Kiss version? The Kiss with the symphony
No, I
orchestra.
haven't.
That's really good.
Yeah? Oh, okay.
Again, it's one of those ones. It's like that shouldn't work, and
Yeah.
yet
Yeah, that's pretty jarring.
I found the Metallica one, sometimes they either really worked, or
Yeah.
when they didn't, they sounded like Bond themes.
I can see that. Yeah.
James Bond in Until It
I think
Sleeps.
there's two.
Narrated by Jeremy Clarkson
No,
for some reason.
There's two songs.
If that song was a woman.
There's two songs on S&M that were written for it.
They were,
One's
yeah.
4 Leaf Clover. And
Subhuman?
I was going to say no. Is it
Yes.
no Leaf Clover?
No Leaf Clover.
So that's
yeah,
one that
that's
sounds
it.
like it could be a sort of interlude.
That sounds like a Bond
Yeah.
theme or something
Yeah.
like that. But I think what that was done was all the others, like you got Battery, Master of Puppets, are written as metal songs, and then the symphony,
Yeah.
like the orchestra went, okay, what can we add? I think if I remember watching the DVD of it, they did it the other way. They purposely wrote a metal sounding classical piece, and then
sang.
Metallica went, over the top of that.
Oh,
put some lyrics, put some guitars on it, and put the metal style drums.
Lars always just, I'm going to hit stuff. Fuck Napster.
What I do.
Hit my forehead.
Napster
Getting
good,
bigger.
money.
Kind of a thing.
Napster bad, money good. Have you ever seen that little cartoon?
No.
It was. I remember actually saw it on. Do you remember the Some Kind of Monster DVD? That car crash of a documentary about
I've not
Metallica.
seen it. Isn't it a 2-hour apology for some anger?
Yeah, and it's a 2-hour explanation for us at Angus. Look how much we hate
Which
each
could come
other,
off
and this
as
is the
apology.
album that came out of
Yeah.
it. But they showed this little clip, and if you look it up, I think it's called Metallica versus Napster. It's a cartoon, and it's just this like giant Hulk. If you drew like a pop vinyl of the Hulk,
Yeah.
right, and then turn it flesh colour, that's what Hetfield looks like. And Ulrich comes out and he's got like this little lip, he's talking like that, and he's like, Napster's so bad. But all the and there's just like piles of coins and notes around them, and it's just James Hetfield's like just comes out and says like, ooh, just like all he says is money good, Napster bad.
It's just like the grittiest reboot of DuckTales I've ever heard.
Ooh. burning churches and stealing money. It's
Doctors.
Napster. Ooh. Fuck.
Second weirdest
Oh,
episode
this-
ever.
There's been a few.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what have you been up to? Like, obviously you've got a 9-month-old daughter.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Mazel tov.
We just had this conversation in the car. I went to Tesco last night, and the woman on the checkout was someone I'd worked with in WH Smith when I was 18.
Okay.
And I recognised her. How you doing? She said, yeah, right. She said, what have you been up to? And I was like, it's been 15 years.
Loads.
Yeah.
But
and
nothing.
yet nothing. No
Yeah.
big, huge. Like, I
Yeah.
got married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got stuff going on, but yet here we are still in Gillingham.
Yeah, no, it's the same. I went to a friend of mine's wedding reception, and my ex-girlfriend from when I was like, I turned 16 when I was with her,
Right.
and she was there, and it's so long ago that there's no like, oh, you're my ex kind of thing. She was like, oh man, how you doing? And I was like, oh, it's just great to see you. She was like, so what have you been up to? And I was like, yeah, like
Loads.
again, probably roughly 15 years of trying to condense into. Went to Wembley once. There was a really nice pie.
Your brain just goes,
and then-
nope.
Yeah.
I have painted the best Blood Bowl team you'll ever see.
But you're like, I mean, obviously, I had Daisy with me.
Not
She's-
welcome in my house.
I had Daisy with me, so she's
I still
obviously
don't
like,
forget.
You've been busy.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, like, but she'd got married. But other than that, it was like, and again, so it turns around. Like, I'm guessing she didn't know that I'd taken over my dad's business. She'd got married, become a teacher. So
Have
there
you
were,
wrestled Jimmy Snooker since then? See,
Yes, yes. I had
Classics into your
I wrestled Jimmy Snooker when I was 16. No,
Yeah.
17.
Okay, so it would have been around that time.
Yeah, I didn't know her in that time. I'd seen her here and there, and obviously, like, you know each other on Facebook, so
Yeah.
I had a rough idea of what you've been up to. But yeah, that question of what have you been up to.
Yeah.
But in terms of me, other than having a daughter, that really, I don't want to be like the boring, like, oh, that's all I've done. But I mean,
Too late.
still, yeah. No, I mean, you still. When they're really young, it's kind of easy to still do hobbies around them.
Yes.
Like I still do like can't sleep must paint on Facebook, like my miniature painting and stuff like
We'll
that.
plug it at the end. All right.
I know it's good, but I
Appreciate
yeah. So
it.
when she was really really young, because they just sleep for so much.
Yeah.
Like I'll do that. You would have time to play computer games and do read books,
we've
do
played
stuff.
Pew 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 on
We've
Battlefront.
pew pew pewed, yeah. Well, since
That
she's
is
been
our-
alive.
That is our shorthand.
Yeah, I'll just get a message like it'll just like message from Shadesaber. Pew.
That is shorthand for would you like to play Battlefront? It's worked a couple of times.
It worked a few times. Most of the time, yeah.
Sometimes one of us just doesn't see the other one's message.
Yeah,
It
oh,
seems
it's
to
weird. It'll normally be if I am like. If it ever says like Omer's watching YouTube, it's normally that we've got nursery rhymes on
And
for
something's
Daisy.
going on, yeah.
And so I may be sitting on the floor playing with her, and the nursery rhymes are just in the background.
Yeah.
Never had any trouble with messaging service, have you?
No.
Should have bought a PS4 lot.
Yeah, or sometimes you're stuck to something, aren't you? But yeah. So but as they get older, like you find. So I used to like when she was first born, for instance, I would sit with her on the sofa, give her some milk, and we'd sit and play or whatever.
Yeah.
And then she'd fall asleep for an hour, so I could sit her on a cushion like between my legs and play a bit of Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
And then she'd wake up for another hour or two, and then. But now, like she's, they still take reasonable naps during the day, but
She's awake a bit more.
she's awake more. So and she's mobile.
Yeah.
So you can't just put them down to play with a toy and then do what you want to do. You are playing with them or just sitting with them. Sometimes I'll be sitting just checking Facebook on my phone, just making sure she's quite good at like self-playing at the minute. Like she doesn't really need you to do sick fucks. She doesn't really need you to show her how to play. She'll sit and
she can make her own
move stuff around. She's not at the age where she's like she's got like a zoo setup thing, like with little animals. She's not at the age where she's going to like walk the polar bear go across the wall and all that. But she'll pick it up and just like just hit things. That's all they do. She just picks up the toy polar bear and hammers it into the tree. Do you know what I mean? Like stuff like that.
I'll give you God.
Coca-Cola my ass.
They do their own. They do magic tricks to themselves. I swear. So she loves.
Magic tricks work.
No. Right, you hear me out. She loves like. She loves breadsticks. She's unfortunately she's lactose intolerant.
Oh right.
So she can't. She has special milk, and there's a lot of snack. And you find that so many foods made by big companies are just filled full of lactose and milk to fill them out. But there is also a great selection of foods she can have. I've also found since she's become the way that I've been looking at my diet and realising I'm probably not intolerant, but certainly sensitive to lactose products.
A few people are.
Been cutting right down on cheese and milk and stuff like that. I have porridge in the morning and I've been having that with like oat milks and things like that.
Been having that with a whole wheel of brie.
Maybe it's time to cut down.
And then for the rest of the day, nothing. I'm so
Nothing,
good.
just a small camembert at lunch.
Yeah, Winnie the Pooh
What she
sometimes
did
won't
with
come into the room and I'm like, come on, Bear, have lunch with me.
Oh, Christ, he's
I'm
killed
back.
it.
But yeah,
he's a dad now. For
I'm
his
a dad. I'm
jokes.
allowed. I am actually. What it was? So Daisy was born at like I think it was like 4 minutes past midnight. 4 minutes past 1 in the morning.
Yeah.
At 10 minutes past, they brought in my dad contract, and it said at the bottom, "Sign here if you're a dad." And I said, "I can't. I'm Ömer." It starts straight away. I actually did tell my first dad joke less than 15 minutes into her being around. So Daisy's on the little weighing table to my left hand side, and they're checking that she's all everything's good. They're checking she's all
Right
listening
number
to
of
her
legs,
heart.
arms.
They are literally here's something they don't tell you. They check that their arsehole is in the right place.
Okay.
And that's which is a weird thing because to actually
Sat next to Mum on the bed.
No, to actually hear the nurse say, "Oh, good, her bum's in the right place." Where else is it going to be? But you realise actually there can be
Swansea.
So she's on the table and she's fussing because she's 15 minutes
She's
old.
got Berkshire ass.
So I'm holding her hand trying to comfort her,
Yeah.
and Charlotte's they're kind of. How do I put it? They're tending to Charlotte after the birth.
Yeah.
Everything went beautifully at the birth. Like there was no complications
That's the
on
word I'd
either
use.
side. Yeah, no, it wasn't.
I've heard about births.
That's a whole. You could literally talk for hours about what a birth is like.
You can, yeah.
It was described to me. Yeah, it was described to me as the most disgusting and beautiful thing you'll ever go through, and there is no better way of describing it.
I don't know. I've had I've had one of those shits where you've been holding it in for ages.
Oh, but then it comes out clean. You don't need
I
to
played
wipe.
Bloodborne for 45 minutes solid.
Yeah. So
Speaking of
the
solids.
first dad joke. I'm holding Daisy's hand, like, and we named it. Like, we had Daisy as we had 4 different names.
Okay.
We had Daisy,
Maisie, Faisy.
Daisy,
Tracy.
which is actually after Daisy
Kevin Spacey.
named after one of her very best friends, Daisy, and also as a little nod to Daisy Ridley,
Right.
because Star Wars came out like a few months. The new Star Wars film
About a month
came
before,
out.
wasn't it?
Yeah,
Couple
it
of
was
weeks.
a couple of months before she was born.
6
early
weeks, I
February. Yeah,
think,
so.
yeah.
And we kind of always said that while the rest of the world was getting excited about Star Wars, we were equally excited about our daughter coming. So
Did
Daisy,
you not see that trailer?
what, for my daughter? Coming soon to a hospital near you.
In a world where Ömer and Charlotte don't have a child, one girl.
They had a child.
I don't want to see that. I feel I've seen all of it.
Yeah, so Daisy
Daisy
after...
One random bloke just goes, "Be quiet now."
I ain't going to put the whole story in the trailer.
I know.
it was going to be Daisy Jane, which is actually for Thor.
Right.
Because we didn't want to give her a Norse name because Freya and that, as much as I like
That's
Norse
really
culture,
popular now,
really
isn't it?
popular
Yeah.
at the minute. So we were thinking, how can we do it without? And I thought, well, Jane Foster from Thor is Thor at the minute in the comics,
Yeah.
and Jane is a nice,
Was.
pretty girl's name. I've never
right,
met a Jane that I haven't got on with.
Yeah.
So Jane would be, but then we had Pembe, which is a Turkish name, it means
Okay.
pink.
For some reason, Bob Holness.
Or as Crouch named her until she was born, Jeff Nacho. With her sidekick.
Sorry, just to clarify, you weren't going to consider that as a
No,
surname.
the fourth name
you said
was,
you had 4.
The fourth name was Selma after my sister.
Selma, okay.
But when she was born, we looked at, and I'd say that Daisy was 75% of the vote. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Between us. When she was born,
Did
we
you
looked
put it
at
out to Twitter?
I don't use Twitter, fuck off. I've got an account. I keep getting followers. I don't know how it works.
Check your mentions. You should have gone with Jane because you had a nurse who was acting as an Asgard.
Oh, fuck. Blake, I'm disappointed that wasn't you.
And credits.
Good game, everyone. Take it home.
We looked at her, I said...
Let's do games, guys.
we kind of looked at her and we went, that's Daisy. Like that, they say you'll know, and for our case, we looked at her, and some people don't name their children for like 2 weeks. They really don't know what to call them.
No.
They're just baby surname.
I'm technically baby number 6 until my parents put the fucking paperwork in.
But we looked at, so she's on the table being weighed and checked out. The nurses are holding, and it's not comfortable what they do to check the ladies afterwards. So I'm holding Charlotte's hand as well. So I've got Daisy left hand, Charlotte right hand, and I just look around and go, Daisy chain.
Yeah.
And the nurse just looked at me like, oh no, it starts. And I did try to cram in as many bad dad jokes as I could.
I was doing
in the hospital.
Gave blood last night, and I was doing loads of really shit jokes. I don't know why I felt the need to impress these nurses, who I will maybe never see again. I just felt this need to every chance I get, just make a joke and just kind of look over like.
I tried to give blood a couple of months ago.
Right.
They tried. They didn't think I had any veins. Apparently, as my friend said at the time, I think you're made of stuffing.
Okay.
No, I was fully up because I have really bad trouble.
That's his new wrestling gimmick, the Paxo Kid.
I generally don't drink enough, so I made sure that day I was like really quite well hydrated and everything. So went on the day because Charlotte is terrified and she has a genuine phobia of needles. But during pregnancy, you have to have so many injections. She was like, "This isn't too bad." So she was like, "I want to go and give blood to like nail this phobia. I want to get it done with." So I went, okay, I'll go with you. And it's something I've always wanted to do. And I got up and they did the little finger prick test.
Yeah.
And they did all that and it all went fine. Went down into the chair and I had quite a young nurse. She'd only been doing it a couple of months apparently. And she, put the belt on your arm so you look like a fucking heroin addict. And
she used a belt. Yeah, that was
an actual belt. Maybe I wasn't giving blood to a legitimate blood.
Yeah,
was it in the back of a Luton van?
So they tend to use blood pressure cuffs in the proper legit outfits.
Was it a Luton?
Wear outfits. It's getting kinkier by the minute.
Level with me. Was this?
No, that's why.
Rather back in your shop in a Luton van have hazards running.
Yeah.
I think.
Thank you for blood, Toverish.
But yeah, they couldn't physically see a vein in my arm.
Yeah.
So she was like, I'm going to go and get one of the sort of one who's been doing it a bit longer, and she couldn't do it, making me pump. Actually, weirdly enough, made my hand bleed, squeezing my hand so much. I pushed my nail too far into my hand and made my hand bleed. I was like, "There's some blood for you," but they were like, "No," because apparently once they sterilise your arm with the wipe, they then can't touch it again.
Right.
So they need a very visible vein, and I just couldn't produce a visible vein.
Yeah, I've got good veins for that.
You can see, but mine are. You can see nothing.
And that, in fact, is one of those examples where I made a joke like that because I remember when this is a few years ago, I was living in Brighton at the time, and I had to go and get myself checked at one of the gum clinics. And obviously, when you go to a gum clinic, I was fine, but it was just just
gingivitis.
We call them we call them dentists.
Yeah. So as a part of the gum clinic thing, they have to obviously look at everything. So I
Exhibit 1, Brad making finger in circular finger motion sex thing.
Brad fucks a donut. Next moving. That's why he's banned.
We'll be back after these messages.
So I went to this thing, and obviously you have to take your trousers down, and they have to look at everything.
Can't do it through your jeans. It's
no,
weird.
absolutely not.
Not for him, they can't.
It's weird because I could have just poked it through. Never.
Yeah.
But
just lift your cuff up.
I've disrobed and checking everything over. It's a female nurse. Just as an aside.
Just to make you feel more comfortable about getting your cock out.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like a funny thing. People say, like, do you get an erection when it happens? I fucking wish. I wish that could have been an option for me. Definitely not.
Shriveled up inside of me.
I'm not worried about an innie. So she's checking it over and she goes, "Oh no, everything looks fine. There's no rashes or anything like that."
Thank
you. Yeah,
Both of them look great.
yeah. And she said,
testicles? No.
She goes on to say, "I'm almost disappointed." And I was like, "That is the last thing I want to hear with my trousers." So she chuckles and she said, "Right, we can check while we're here. We can check your blood for HIV.
Oh.
I have no reason to believe you got it, but while you're here,
there, right?
it doesn't cost. It's free and everything.
Yeah,
it gives you peace of mind." I was like, "Fine." So I put my arm out and I said, I've been told I got good veins for this, and she said, "Oh, yeah, I can see a big one there." I said, "That is what I wanted to hear 2 fucking minutes ago." But it's weird giving blood because they take like just under a pint. They take basically the size of a big Red Bull, which is in Iceland is about 1,000 pounds. Yeah. See last episode for details.
How much?
Thanks, Blake.
Well, I'm glad you saved that jingle.
Listen to the show.
Save that jingle is also what you want to hear when somebody drops their trousers.
You say that, I'm still waiting for you to ruminate on something.
There is that. So they take the blood. They make you sort of sit and have a drink and a biscuit and stuff before you leave, so you're not like walking out the door and just like collapsing down the ramp. Yeah. So I get home and I come in through the door at the bottom, and there's a little to give the listeners an idea. There's a door between the staircase to my flat and the outside. There's a little hall.
It feels like you're walking into an accountancy centre.
Yeah, it's like one of those ones like that. But I stopped to check the post, opened the thing, and it was empty. And my brain took about 5 seconds to go, "That means there's no post." And so I just stood there going, "What does this mean?" After about 5 seconds, I go, "Oh yeah," just close the gate and walk on. It's just very odd that your brain just kind of it affects you.
Yeah, it's
very subtly.
Yeah, I've only ever had enough blood taken for like a sample.
Yeah.
So, like a few months ago, the doctor suspected I might be diabetic, so I took blood. I'm not, but I'm on the lowest bottom risk. I basically. If I was stupid, if I was stupid, I could basically eat and drink myself into diabetes. Right. But he says like, just cut down on your sugary drinks.
Brave.
Cut down on your sugary drinks. He said like, not even eating shouldn't be a problem. Just anyway. But yeah, even after that, like you can feel a bit weird. When I went to give blood, like they couldn't decide. I was like, "Oh, that's a shame." They said, "Well, you can try again in 2 years." Yeah. Like they reckon it won't make any difference. You're more than welcome to come back every time, but you're probably wasting yours on our time.
Yeah, they say diabetes tests. I've had diabetes tests before, and they said about 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, this is to give blood. This is to give blood. They just said you can try again in 2 years. Before.
Wow, okay.
And I was like, "Well, can I not just come back?" And I actually said, "Would it make sense if I have another glass of water? Should I go for a little jog around the block?
Yeah.
Like anything to get
drink some blood?
Nothing. Nothing will help." But yeah, when I finished, I went over like we went with my friend and my girlfriend. So my friend had finished first. My girlfriend's still in the chair, so I went and sat down next to our friend. Yeah. She went, "Oh, I knew you." That was when she said, "I knew you were full of stuffing." And the woman went, "Would you like a drink and a biscuit?" And I was like, "Well, have I earned it? I feel like a fraud." She was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Oh, I couldn't give blood." She was like,
"No biscuit."
It's actually what she said. She actually said, "Well, maybe you just want a squash then." And I knew it was just her, like, they have a budget for the snacks, right? I knew it was just her being economical.
I didn't need it. Biscuit.
I just like the idea that she was just slowly pulling the tray away. No biscuits for you.
Jimmy Havoc once did that. We had a WrestleMania party at one of my friends' houses, and we're just chilling out. I think it was before the show had started. We're just chilling out. It's about 7 or 8 of us there, and it was at my friend Mikey T's house, and he's like, "Oh, anybody want a biscuit?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay, fine." Gets the biscuit tin out, puts it on the floor in front of me. I'm sitting in, on the sofa 2 foot away from it. I bend down, and as I bend down towards the biscuit, Jimmy Havoc jumps up from the sofa at the other end of the front room, does like a diving baseball slide to boot the biscuits away from me, all the while screaming, "No biscuits for you, fatty!" and just scatters the biscuits all the way across the other end of the room into the patio doors. Walks over, starts picking them up, putting like a load of broken, dirty floor biscuits up, and just goes, "That was worth it."
Jimmy Havoc would absolutely be on my list for crazy train guests.
If I had just don't give him a biscuit tin.
No.
Or my ribs.
No.
He'll break both of them.
Okay. Only one will get you banned from Wilkinson's, though. Try and guess which one. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Have we got a mailbag jingle yet?
No, we don't.
Blake.
But,
What's that?
Mailbag jingle.
Mailbag.
All your jingles are the same.
Mailbag. I want to get some post from the mailbag. It was Spaceman.
I have a bag.
I have some mails.
Gay bag. Oh, right, no, not that kind of
Questions.
Alright, so this is from James, who's a friend of the show, James.
Hi, James.
James Brand.
So-
From where does he live now? Medway.
He actually living in
somebody-
12 now.
For somebody that doesn't live in Medway, that's really like... Where does he live? Medway. That's a really big fucking area, you
I know, but that's why.
Not compared to not Medway.
True. You've got
which
me
in
there.
this case is the answer. So he writes.
Everything in the world is or isn't a potato.
What about the stuff that's?
Aaron
What?
Tenhurst.
Everything is or isn't a
Potato-ish.
potato. It's true.
Yeah, fine.
Name something that is or is not or isn't a potato. That's the real question here. I'm drunk.
Me too.
1 in 4,000 people are hit by a potato, which means 3,999 potatoes are rapists.
Oh, you know, still Tumblr statistics.
Oh yeah, I'm very familiar with Tumblr facts. So James writes, "Hi, crazy trainers."
Oh, so he has a pen
He
and he has written, mailbag. I can do fucking jingles.
Yeah.
You are slacking.
Sorry.
I don't know if
question.
I peeked at Rob for Noomi Noomi.
there's a question in there somewhere.
The plan is to never have him ask the question. The
That's
question
all we
is,
have time for, guys.
the question is, how long can you hold off reading this question?
As an aside, how do we feel about the name Crazy Trainers? I'm not sure.
Crazy trainers. Work.
Well, we're definitely.
It's certainly better than when Bender Crackcorn decided our fans were all benders. We actually wanted to get t-shirts.
As opposed to cornies or crackers.
We actually asked fans at gigs whether they would buy a t-shirt that just said, I'm a bender. The answer was no.
To be fair,
not with that context.
To be
no.
fair, based on the last episode, I'm thinking of a t-shirt that's incestative motherfucker.
Crazy trainer. Oh, I don't know. Like crazy sneakers. Sneakers. Sneaky snacks. Sneaky snakes.
It
That's all our
sounds,
fans.
it sounds like a racial slur
I
when
would
you
be okay.
those sneaky snacks.
I think I would be okay with it if it could be applied to other similar lineups. Like, I don't feel it would be okay to refer to to talk to Mick Jagger and Keith Richards and go, "How's it going, Rolling Stoners?"
To be fair,
Well, it's not,
Yeah,
it's
well-
not inaccurate.
not inaccurate. Yeah.
Oh, then that's trainers and none of us are particularly sporty.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I play squash.
So yeah, we now have the Rolling Stones. What's the question?
Yeah. So it's a two-part question. The first bit is a pretty simple one. How do you consider doing a live podcast session with something like Facebook Live? The answer is, actually, funny enough, we were just talking about it in the break. Before having read out the question,
Clever that.
I have toyed with the idea. It can be a logistical nightmare, much in the same way as just being able to get us in a room to record in general. It can be a logistical nightmare.
I'll try not to have another baby.
But it has been talked about as an idea, and if there is enough interest, I'm very much up for giving it a go.
Yeah, no, it could be fun.
Second part of the question, based on our conversation last time, and what is the best Sam Neill movie?
Jurassic Park.
In the Mouth of Madness.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I'll have to go with Brad and say Mouth of Madness.
Fuck you all, Jurassic Park.
I'm gonna.
Jurassic Park is a very there's two ways of looking at a question like that.
Yep.
Firstly,
Is it Jurassic Park? Yes. Secondly, is it not Jurassic Park? No.
Everything
firstly-
is or isn't Jurassic Park.
Does it have Velociraptors in it?
that's-
Yes, it's Jurassic Park. Is it Jurassic Park 3? Yes, it's not the best Sam Neill movie.
there's two ways of looking at it, which is firstly, what's
In the reflection of a fridge door, someone punch him out. If you're looking at Sam Neill in the reflection of a fridge door, it's not really him. Don't run at it.
Okay, there's two ways of looking at it, both of which could be drawn to Jurassic Park.
Okay, go for
Right.
it.
Firstly,
It better be Jurassic Park.
what is the best movie that Sam Neill is in?
Yeah.
Jurassic Park?
And what is the movie that Sam Neill is best in?
Oh, okay. Nice.
Jurassic Park.
The Mouth of Madness.
I'm going to be different and say Memoirs of an Invisible Man.
Memoirs of an Invisible Man. He is absolutely brilliant.
Does Merlin count? Because he's batshit in that one.
He's really good. In
He is really good.
He's
Merlin.
great.
Joking aside,
Easily one of my favourite
He brings.
actors.
He's probably my favourite rendition of Merlin.
He's very.
That's
yeah,
really,
I
really
know that.
good in that.
He's very
He,
good.
unfortunately, he did the sequel, and he pretty
Merlin,
much just Merlin. It was like Merlin the. I think it was the Grail Chronicles or something like that.
I remember seeing it around.
Yeah, I bought it. It was in Tesco for 99p or whatever, so I picked it up, and he's fine in it, but you can tell he's just there for the payday.
Yeah.
Like it's
Like
it's-
Christian Slater.
and he's only in it for like it's another 2-part TV special, and he's in it for like 20 minutes of the first half. After that, it just goes off into a generic medieval
Right.
wander. You know what I mean?
okay.
But no, he's wearing Merlin. Like,
Throne
it's
of
really underrated. I
Thrones.
think Merlin. I think it's a real. It's good.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah,
think
the
it's
original
technically a
TV movie.
All right, so let's break the
Yeah.
question down into two then. In the spirit of that. So the first question is, what is the movie in which Sam Neill is best in? Of all the roles he's played, what is he best in?
I've not seen a great deal. It's one of those ones where, oh yeah, he was in that, but I haven't seen a great deal. I don't think I can really answer. I haven't seen.
Do you know what he's best in? I think he's outstanding in Event Horizon.
That is
I
might be
think
up there
he's
for me.
Yeah.
I think Event Horizon and Memoir of the Invisible Man are probably my
Daybreakers, I thought he was brilliant in.
I haven't seen that. I really want to.
Again,
Oh, yeah, that was very good.
like in Merlin, an okay movie with some really good bits.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was great in that. That movie's underrated as well, I think. That doesn't get.
It's so
It was
so
great.
clever.
That was the movie actually about 6 months before I had an idea for a movie that was almost that plot. The idea that it was the other way around. It was that there was something like zombies or vampires were the norm, and humanity broke out as a disease, which isn't quite there.
I Am Legend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The original, like
Is that the way?
The book ending is basically that in the film, obviously, Will Smith sacrificed himself to save them.
Yeah, I know that isn't the original because there was a movie before that.
There's Omega Man.
That's
which
it.
is
Yes.
More
More
closely
true
follows
to the book, but not quite.
and then there's I Am Legend, which is the one. So spoilers for I Am Legend. I mean, you've had fucking years.
It was one before Omega Man as well.
Oh, was
It's
it?
called The Last Man on Earth, starring Vincent Price.
Yes,
So
there was.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. So is it not?
So in the Will Smith movie, he sacrificed himself. So I'll go with the most recent one. In the Will Smith movie, he sacrificed himself, saved the wife and kids, and sent them off to the safe camp with the sample from the
zombie that turned back and then got killed or whatever, wasn't it? Yeah.
In the book, it's established that actually the vampires are a more evolved form of humanity. They capture Robert. What's his name? What the fuck is his name?
Mugabe.
That would be a very different movie.
Wade. I'm just going for Roberts. I don't know why I came to Mugabe before Wade when I was looking directly at you.
Well, it does.
I get that.
rhyme,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think of his name. Anyway, they capture Will Smith's character and kill him because he's like the obstacle to their progress.
Oh, okay. And are they
the whole idea is he is the monster to them. He is the legend.
Yes, I know that's the legend. But is he? How do I put it? During the book, I'm guessing they're still the vampires because everybody thinks they're zombies, but they're really not. They're vampires.
Very more vampires.
Because in the Will Smith movie, they really are. They're like
both.
Almost like
they're zombies
kind of
that have
pale
a
and
deflection
rotten.
to the sun.
Yeah.
In Omega Man, they're more.
It's that bit. It's that bit where they're in the dark
characters.
room, like panting together.
Yeah.
That makes them look mindless.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because any other vampire is as sentient as us in most movies. They're intelligent.
Or they sparkle.
Or they sparkle. But what I mean is that,
they are rational.
You think about they're rational. They have nightclubs in Blade and stuff like that. So, but so are they portrayed as the bad guys in the book until the end? Is that like a twist?
Yes, because it's told from first person perspective.
Yeah, it's kind of like it centres on the plot. It's not first person, is it? It centres on him.
I read it when I was about 15.
I think I had the audio book a while back, but now I'm thinking there may have been
reread it now,
there may have been bits that were first person actually.
But it's still portrayed as he is resistant to the virus.
Yes.
So it is a virus that changed everybody into the thing.
Yes.
Yeah. So my idea was that it was similar to Daybreakers. Where vampires or zombies or werewolves or whatever are the norm
way back,
and then somebody gets bitten and becomes human.
Okay.
And then you realise that. So it's told from the point of view of the people who are the norm, the vampires or whatever, and they realise that. Wait, this is how we used to be, and then it's the morality of should we go back to how we were, or are we better now?
Right.
Which is what Daybreakers actually does do. Like they're stronger now. They're apart from the sun thing, they're almost better in every way. But then it's the whole like greed of the dictatorship and the money and all that that's actually ruined their more evolved form.
Yeah.
But I remember Daybreakers coming out and being like, God damn it.
I think he's outstanding in Event Horizon.
Yep.
Not just the running, jumping, bleeding from the eyes stuff, but just the kind of hangover of guilt from his wife.
Yes.
I think he nails that really well.
I haven't seen that so long.
I need to see that.
What you're saying is like resonating with me, but on the fringes of my brain. So I really need to see that.
You're just sitting there going, but he's just Dr. Grant.
He that was when I first knew him. All joking aside, that the first time I ever saw him was as Dr. Grant.
He's good.
He brings some legitimacy to that movie.
Invisible Man, but I hadn't made the connection. It was him.
There's a lot of hack acting in Jurassic Park.
Yes.
A lot. Yeah. And he brings.
I think the second Velociraptor milks it.
Because I find the Dilophosaurus a bit of a
didn't exist.
Chewing the scenery.
Him and Attenborough bring like the acting chops to that movie.
Yeah.
Goldblum's okay. He actually is perfect for the
Goldblum
character.
is playing a slightly hammy
playing Jeff
character.
Yeah. I think I can't remember her name, but Ellie Sattler, the female paleobotanist. That's it. Yeah.
No, not Laura Linney.
I
Laura Dern.
don't think her acting.
Jeff Goldblum's made a good
I'm
career
not a
out of
fan
playing
of
Jeff
Christian.
Goldblum.
Laura Dern's
I've
in
seen
episode
her
8.
in other bits.
I think Laura Dern's in episode 8.
Is she?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Is it Laura Dern or Laura Linney? I think it is Laura Dern.
Now you've said that, that's rung a bell.
Yeah, I think she's supposed to be somebody in the Resistance, maybe.
Okay.
Well, they haven't said for sure, but that's the rumour.
Okay.
But talking of him, actually him and great acting in the third Jurassic Park, he has my favourite. So Jurassic Park has "Clever Girl," my favourite line from a movie ever. The third one has my favourite bad quote from a movie, and it's not the quote. They're basically trying to track down the divorced couple's son, aren't they?
Yeah.
And their second name is Kirby.
Right.
And the woman,
Swallow
I think
somebody whole.
she realises that
not
her
that
son
one.
may be dead.
Yeah.
Or whatever, and she storms off. But then she's storming off into the jungle. She's being, the stereotypically written irrational woman in a movie.
Right.
So Sam Neill's character says to Mr. Kirby to go get her, but in the way that "Clever Girl" is delivered perfectly, it's a standard line.
Yeah.
It's the delivery of it. The line is just go after her, Mr. Kirby.
Yeah.
But he says it in such a fake. It's like, go after her, Mr. Kirby, and it's so like stage show, 50,000 Leagues Under the Sea kind of acting. And it stands out as my favourite bad acting. It's almost as good actually as Disappointed.
Yeah.
Was it Hercules?
Yeah.
It is Hercules, where you meant to read the word, meant to act disappointed, but instead reads it as a script line.
Amazing.
And just goes, disappointed.
No more know about Kevin Sorbo, but I suspect that was a wine.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Looking on his eye, the twinkle in his eye
Yeah.
says that. But yeah, so that's a piece of Sam Neill's terrible acting,
Nice.
actually. But the rest of the movie is fine.
Jurassic Park 3, the bit that always stands out for me, apart from that, is at the very, very end, where they've got the bone.
Oh,
like,
3D
sort of
printed
like-
esophagus.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
The one that makes the
Call
noise.
for help.
Oh, God.
Right. Don't Fedora me, come on.
Yeah.
Stay with me.
Oh, no, I'm just, oh, God, because it's terrible. I'm
right,
not
okay.
like, actually.
Actually.
There's no evidence it would work. There's no evidence it wouldn't either.
Fair
You know.
So there's that bit, and they see it on the floor, and they sort of walk up, and he blows into it, and the raptors go up, and all that goes into my head is one of the raptors going, "Steve," and then he turns to the other one, and goes, "It's Steve," and it's like, "Of course it's not fucking Steve, it's Sam, it's the bloke out of Eventurizer."
I like to believe it. How's he supposed to know what to say? I like to think in Velociraptor speak, he's just going tumble dry, bassoon, paperclip.
So this guy's fucking mental. Let's run.
Yeah, I'm taking my kids away from you.
Yeah.
Creep.
I watched Jurassic
I don't
Park.
think you're really Jeff Goldblum at all.
Wow, you know.
I would have said Jeff Goldblum's made a good career out of being
Jeff Goldblum, he has now. Yeah.
It's a bit like a Meatloaf thing.
Yeah.
Not the greatest singer in the world.
Jeff Goldblum makes meatloaf. What?
We can now put them in. My trio is now Jeff Goldblum, not the greatest actor in the world, good at being Jeff Goldblum, and doing what he. Meatloaf, not a great singer, a good singer, not a good vocalist.
Okay.
His voice is not up
good-
to the
good
standard
showman.
he sings. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And Tommy Dreamer, the wrestler, another. You're not that good. How are you that successful? Like
Right.
that's my trilogy now. Then we'll put those three.
The Holy Trinity.
All of them, I
somehow
respect
good.
and enjoy, but I realise they're not as good as the position they're in.
Right.
Like, they've just
So it's
they've
like
got something else that gets them
the
there.
the Trinity of good, but
Good, but
Yeah.
good, but not good, but better, but not.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'll say Meatloaf with a very
If you're a
powerful
CD, I
voice.
could
He's
buy
got
you
a lot of
Broadway
power
service
in him.
station.
But it's how do it's
I
almost
think
like
his main trouble is he's so middle of the road with it.
yeah.
Like he's middle of the road, but Meatloaf has cultivated that monsters and motorbikes image, which
Yeah.
appeals to people who don't want to go full heavy metal.
Yeah, true.
I
What's
can
the
see that,
the one that
It's, you know,
he's done one that he
The
did a
rock and
song.
roll rebellion that a businessman can buy.
He did a song that Celine Dion's also. Is it Celine Dion's also done? I think. It's really,
Coming
really
Back to Me?
covered. All coming back to me, yeah.
Right.
That
Ironically.
you say he's got a big unchecked voice. There is some power in that.
Yeah.
Like that is perfect for his voice because the song it's about like remembering a relationship that was good and bad, and it's about somebody breaking down whilst remembering stuff.
Yeah.
And because his voice isn't so pure, it breaks and it makes that song I think better than Celine Dion's obviously a brilliantly powerful vocalist, but I prefer his because it's fallible.
Raw, yeah.
It's raw. That's the word. Yeah. There's a song by Breed 77 called look at me now, or so look at me now, or something like that. And there's a line where his voice just goes, cracks. And you would, if it were anybody else recording it, 1,000 different artists, and even them on a different day, would go redo that line.
Yeah.
It's a big emotional song about, basically you told me, it's kind of simple when you look at it. You told me I'd never make it, now look, this band's really successful, so look at me now.
Right.
And it's a ballad, and his voice breaks, and it makes it. Yeah. And it's just one of those things I hope they went, no, leave it in.
Yeah.
It's great, and it's that, Meatloaf, middle of the road, not the best vocalist.
So what's your favourite Meatloaf film? What's happening?
What's it? I've never tried
Fight Club's good.
Rocky Horror, that's about it.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Wayne's World.
Spice World.
Rocky Horror has been around, obviously we're recording the day after Halloween.
Yes.
And Rocky Horror is, it kind of mingles, doesn't it? People dress up and stuff. And I'm just reminded how, I'm sorry, I really don't enjoy Rocky Horror. I know we performed it live, like we did it in BCC and I did it, and the music's great. But do you know what? It's like a
just
load
a
of things.
fourth wall, I'm wearing a Rocky Horror shirt.
It's a lot of the fans. It's the fans of things like that who are just like, it's the greatest movie ever. Oh, come on, even you know it's not.
Yeah.
It's
not Die Hard.
I enjoy it.
Star Wars.
Or Jurassic Park.
Jurassic
Park. I watched Jurassic Park.
You imagine if, but it's the cult of Rocky Horror. Imagine if that kind of had built up around Jurassic Park and people were going to midnight screening and pulling their fedoras off at the right moment.
It's odd. It's odd. It's following. I find it obscure. There's no other movie that gets that kind of. I'm sure you could think of something.
I think the trouble is other movies have tried to copy that success.
Yes.
Like there's been so many movies since Star Wars that have tried to be the next Star Wars, not as a film but as a pop culture phenomenon, and that's why it's never worked. It's been tried to make
do your thing and then be successful because of it.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels says it. Don't be the next Shawn Michaels. Everybody says I want to be the next Shawn Michaels. Don't be the next Shawn Michaels. I wasn't the next. I can't remember who modded himself after it first. Ric Flair. Ric Flair said he was like he had the bleached blonde hair. Shawn Michaels used to bleach his hair like Ric Flair and everything like that. And Ric Flair said, "Why are you trying to be the next me? Be the next you.
Right.
Be the first you." And I think that's how things get successful. You can have some success copying something and but you've got to be so much better than the original. And it's not really what you want to do.
Oh, you just got to be different enough. Like, I mean, like Star Wars was kind of, pulpy Saturday morning Flash Gordon.
But it had things. I was talking about I was actually arguing with this with someone the other day on an X-Wing group. The acting in the first Star Wars movie is not great. No. There are moments when it's absolutely terrible. It steps up a notch, even from Harrison Ford. It steps up a notch in Empire. Even just the bit that noticed me is the. In the opening bits of Empire where Luke's lost, and there's some, worker in the base talking to Han, and it's that bit where he's like, may have come in, go and check, and it's just even Harrison Ford does a little it just does a little inflection in his voice to make it seem real, and the other guy he doesn't just go yes general, he's like yes general, he's like I'm in a hurry, and that didn't exist in the first movie.
No,
I think it's 'cause
by the second one they're like, oh, we're on to something.
It's because George Lucas is an amazing ideas man.
Yeah.
And he's very good at stories and he's very good at characters. But I think even he would admit directing is not his strength.
I think I remember I read a book about the kind of behind the scenes stuff with Star Wars a couple of months ago, and I seem to recall that was the thing he liked doing the least.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then I think he said writing was his least favourite thing at first.
Oh, okay.
When he first wrote Star Wars and these like American Graffiti and stuff, he was really struggling with the writing stuff. He used to really enjoy the directing, but he used to really dislike the writing. Actually, used to try
as a filmmaker, make it up to 4. Have him as a filmmaker and make it up to 4.
Yeah. We got there. We'll do this trilogy. We'll do this trilogy. We'll do this collection of people who are more successful than their talent. Not even their talent, because to say someone like.
Yeah, because I mean that'd be a bit unfair on Lucas because he did envisage this entire.
Yeah, absolutely, but maybe his natural talent. Some people. When I started wrestling with Zack Sabre Jr., I was not naturally gifted, right? Cheers. I wasn't naturally gifted. I worked to the level where I was passable. Yeah. Zack walked in the ring and he was just there from day one. He was lucky. Like you say someone like like you say someone like Meatloaf and that, like they necessarily like. I really want to be a singer. I don't have the best voice. How am I going to do it? Yeah. Like, working at it can be better, harder, more. Because you've got to go so much harder because you're not naturally gifted. Yeah. When you actually do it, it's all on your own back. It's not because you were just gifted, you weren't the son of someone or something like that.
I think it's good and I think that's the kind of thing that I wish they taught to kids more. Like, I read a book about it. It's like the parents who tend to find their kids are more successful are the ones who say to them, that's great, you must have worked really hard on that.
Yeah.
Rather than saying, that's great, you're really talented, without them having...
Oh, that's...
You associate work with results.
Because even if you are naturally talented, you know, if it's a kid drawing something that you stick on the fridge, if the kid is a naturally talented artist, he's not going to try to get better.
No.
And we were actually talking about, we were recording about being good but not listening to advice. Like, you can be great at something, why not be better?
Yeah.
Why not be the best? Because if you settle that you're very good at something...
If it's just, you know... like I say, it's the difference between that's really good, you're really good at that, versus that's really good, that must have taken you a long time, you must have worked really hard. Yeah. And if they go, I get, you know, good results and everybody likes it when I work hard. Done. Just like that, you kind of create that.
There's a really nice thing. I can't remember where he read it from. It was Adam Savage from Mythbusters.
Oh yeah.
He said one of the best things he ever learned, because obviously he meets. He meets new people constantly, you know, and he always finds...
What is he, a midwife?
He doesn't mind like public speaking or going to parties and stuff, but he finds going to like he goes to like the Makers Fair, and like the President Obama like does this yearly like kids inventors fair at the White House, and he says going to formal occasions where he's a respected peer is difficult. And he says the best advice we ever got was when somebody tells you, when you ask what somebody does for a living or what somebody is doing there, he says you don't say, oh cool, what's that? You just say, oh, that must be really hard.
Right.
Because everybody wants to believe they're working. But he said it's not like pandering to somebody and going, oh, that must be really hard, you must work really hard. It's more just like, it's a conversational roller, because people go, do you know what it is? Thank you. And it's a way of just rolling on and that's that same kind of you must have worked really hard. That must be appreciating what other people go through in their life, and not just going, well, it's not interesting to me.
No, I think legally Blake is the only one who's allowed to appreciate
patent pending.
So what we're saying for the kind of the movie that Sam Neill's best in,
I haven't seen enough to really judge it, so it's just Jurassic Park to me.
I do like Daybreakers, but I've certainly gone back to Event Horizon more, so I would probably say Event Horizon is
that would be my pick as well. That's I think he's probably one of the standouts in that movie.
Yeah, I mean, I like Malfoy as well, and Sean Pertwee is awesome.
Yes.
But yeah.
I'd say they're pretty good.
Yeah.
I do really like Malcolm Manders as well, though. That is great.
I would say that was the best film he is in.
Yeah.
His Mouth Madness is outstanding.
Yeah.
Not that he's bad in it, he's just...
Madness. I feel like I have.
John Carpenter.
Yeah, I feel like maybe I've seen it with you guys.
He's a detective, really, isn't he? He's sort of tasked
in
with
the mouth
hunting down an
He's
author
like a
who's gone
private
missing.
investigator, isn't he?
Yeah, trying to hunt down an author who's gone missing, and he's found it. Then he finds...
Authors don't want to
He manages to find there's a town that's not on any maps which appears in this author's book, so he travels there to try and find where this... And it's Jürgen Prochnow plays the author, who's another great actor.
Yeah.
And the guy who plays Viggo the Carpathian, isn't it, as well? And you can same as he is in Die Hard, one of the greatest movies ever made.
Yes,
and you go, that's
best
Viggo the Carpathian.
Best Christmas
dinosaurs
movie ever.
hard.
Make him stop. In the Mouth Madness, I think it's his
So that's your answer, Mouth Madness. Jurassic Park?
Actually, I think his acting is better in Daybreakers, like, because there's the kind of turn of his character, and that takes a little bit more acting. Like Grant is who. I mean, Grant has the turn of I don't like children. Now I like children.
If the third act twist had been Grant was I was a Velociraptor all along.
Yeah. But no,
that would
maybe then Daybreakers for me. I think he's
that.
really good in Daybreakers. I think he's just does something a little bit different, especially as I grew up watching him in Jurassic Park so much.
Have you seen Mouth of Madness?
I feel I have.
Shall we all get together and do a Jurassic Park Mouth of Madness double bill?
Or a mashup?
No.
In the mouth of T-Rex.
Yeah, fine. Whatever makes him stop talking.
Jurassic Mouth. Jurassic Mouth sounds like one of those born dinosaur books.
Yeah.
Madness Park.
Jurassic Mouth will be in Poundland eventually.
Madness Park.
Yeah. Well, that's basically.
You put me in the mouth of a T-Rex.
Baggy T-Rex.
Blake?
Richard McAttenborough
As I say, I'd say his best acting is probably Event Horizon, but I'd say Mouth of Madness is his best film.
So you've answered the second part of the question before I came round.
Have you come?
Did you? I wasn't sure. I wasn't even sure what you were asking.
Fuck's sake, Blake.
Can you please clip that sample of Ömer saying "Have you come?" and just splice it into random episodes?
Sure.
when I'm not here. And I'm joined here by Ömer Ibrahim.
There was a few episodes back where just for like, but not that bit was left in.
Yeah.
Just from now on, every now and again, just sneak that little clip into an episode, even once he's not on.
Do you know what? I need something for the end title card on YouTube. That works.
Have you come? We'll do a proper clean meter mic once you can use
Don't
it.
use that one. Although I do really like Memoirs of the Invisible Man for his comedy aspect.
That is, I think John Carpenter's comedy stuff is underrated.
Does he come?
Yeah, you did this last episode though. I wasn't quite sure what part of the question you were asking at the time.
Yeah,
You
I got a bit muffled
That's
there.
why you got the price. We get the prices wrong, Isaac, because we weren't sure
Oh,
if
yeah,
you're talking
yeah.
about Iceland or
Well,
England.
that was partly my fault because I wasn't asking the question.
So how much does a laptop bag cost on his little block?
Too much.
Too many raptors.
Yeah. We pay in raptors here on the Crazy Train. So what about is the best film that the first bit was the film he's best in, right? And now we're saying the film that is best.
The best
with
or the
him
film
in.
you enjoy most?
Well, you've heard me, so do the other one.
The best or your favourite? Because that's different.
Oh,
Okay.
My favourite, Jurassic Park. It's one of my favourite movies of all
I
time.
wasn't expecting you to say that.
Cunt.
But I know there are better movies than Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
It's up there.
Yeah, Jurassic World, for starters.
Any list of movies will put Jurassic
Bigger
Park
thing.
high, like top 50, easy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
And I think that I watched Jurassic Park when I bought the Blu-rays. I watched them all again, and it dates really well.
Yeah, I can
Do you know what doesn't date? If you've got the Blu-ray, I've noticed this on the Bluray. The scenes with the puppets are
They-
spectacular.
The CG doesn't.
The
date
CG
well at all.
has
Yeah.
because so what they've actually done is not HD'd the CG scenes.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean, they've left them in the original because otherwise the dinosaurs would look so fake.
There are some really bad HD transfer jobs in general across. You guys got the Star Wars Saga Blu-ray box.
The one
with
Sand
Anakin,
on the front.
the one with
Yeah.
Anakin, and
the awful cover.
the not great cover.
Yeah.
The much better cover is the new one with Vader on the front.
Yes.
Which is
Yes.
much stronger. And I sort of wish I'd waited, but you know,
Yeah.
I love the
got really
97
early,
trilogy.
Oh, they're
The
great.
gold and
one.
silver box
Yeah.
with just like a gold Darth Vader on the front.
I have
That's
the
cool.
the ones in the other room with the original, the reissues with the special editions and the originals
Okay.
off the Laserdisc, and the
I've
transfer's
got-
not great. but
I have-
it's nice to have.
Other than when they started putting them out in the 1 to 3 and 4 to 6 box sets.
Yeah.
They had like the red and there was one with Yoda on it.
Yeah.
I have every version of every DVD and Blu-ray
Oh, nice.
and VHS except Revenge of the Sith on VHS. There's
Okay.
only a few thousand ever made.
Because it was
really
DVD
expensive.
around the time.
Yeah, it was
DVDs
so.
were sort of
Phantom Menace
taken
came
off.
out. I remember Phantom Menace was put out on VHS on my birthday, so my
Yeah.
dad went and got my birthday present in like before I went to school. We went down to, I think it was Tesco or something.
Yeah.
But and then Attack of the Clones was like a 50-50 split. By the time Revenge of the Sith, nobody was bothering
Yeah,
with VHS
DVD was all
anymore.
the way. Yeah.
But they released it like they still release now on cassette, like now 139 or whatever.
Yeah.
They still release that on cassette for collectors. That's the only reason they did Revenge of the Sith, and it's the only one I don't have to complete everything. I don't have it on VHS. So if anybody's got one, I'll have it for $5.
How much?
A lot of black metal bands still issue on tape.
Really?
I think that's part of the black metal philosophy.
it,
Is trying to be
Is
as
it
cult and
hipsterish?
obscure. It absolutely.
It's absolutely quite
And it's part
elitist,
is being
isn't it?
as
Yeah.
elitist as possible. So yeah, some bands will still.
They know they're doing
They
it,
will
yeah.
do. See, yeah, I think. It's probably 50% of them are going, no, we're going to do it properly and do it on
Yeah.
tape, and 50% of them are going, we'll do it on tape like the old guys used
Yeah,
to.
or there's like some in there who are just like, have you seen how much fucking CDs cost here? In Iceland?
Although sometimes I've noticed some bands will do a specific, like they'll do a tour, and they will go, right, we are releasing this single, but you can only get it at our live shows.
Yes,
It's really bloody annoying.
How's that going to chart?
I know,
Great
it's like
question.
Yeah,
one-off
I've seen
singles,
that.
but then they will sell them on vinyl, and I think it was Green Day or something, but they did one on cassette, and that made me go, why are they doing it?
Yeah,
I
I
can
can understand the
like-
argument for liking vinyl more than I can understand the argument for
Yeah,
liking
it's got that
cassette.
sound, but
Yeah.
cassette
Cassette was
doesn't
always
beat
inferior.
anything.
They
They always say that
broke all the
vinyl's got
time.
that warmth. They say it's
Yeah.
a warmth, isn't it? And
So
I do
you-
agree with
Like when
that.
you get some horror movie hipsters claim that some movies are better on VHS.
It's like, what are you?
Fuck off.
Yeah, seriously.
There are some.
You can't tell
There
me
is a
that's what
line.
a director wanted more.
Another one of my favourite movies, Troll Hunter. I bought it on Blu-ray.
That's a good movie.
Don't worry about it on Blu-ray though.
No.
It's a grainy
no.
found
I
footage
watched-
movie, and when it's too clear, it just loses some of that.
No, I've watched it on DVD on purpose.
Yeah, I've watched it on Blu-ray. I have it because I like all the extras with the filming and the behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
But if I want to watch the movie, I'll watch the DVD because
the film's great, but it's not a film for its special effects.
no, absolutely not. No, it is when it's on DVD because they've made it grain. They've almost made it VHS quality, so that you can't see that the special effects aren't up to scratch. It was made on like a shoestring budget.
The number of times I've looked at a Blu-ray in somewhere like a CEX or a HMV, other retailers are available, and I'll be like, okay, I get that there is an appeal. I may not see the appeal myself. I get that there is an appeal for box sets of Mrs. Brown's Boys.
Yeah,
but Blu-ray. Is that something that needs to be 1080p?
When we were doing a lot more of reviews on E14, that was kind of around the time Blu-ray started getting bigger, and we got a lot of issues. And some of the ones they used to send us, like Ice Cold and Alex on Blu-ray, I'm not sure a movie from 1953 needs a Blu-ray.
No, indeed.
The one I've got that I've kept just because I love that it exists, the Blu-ray version of Caddyshack.
Nice. I think it's just down to like media moving though.
Yeah.
Because some people it's as simple as Blu-ray boxes are smaller, and some people don't want odd sized boxes on the shelf.
To be fair, that is a big appeal for me.
Yeah. It's not even like story. I can see. I'm looking at your DVD cupboard. It's not that you can't fit DVDs and Blu-rays in there, but some people are pedantic enough that they like. And if you love something, you might want every version of it. Yeah. Like Troll Hunter, I wanted it on Blu-ray to have the other version, and it was a couple of quid. So.
Well, I've seen that some films are getting released, obviously, in these new 4K.
Yeah. I saw a couple of.
I saw someone got the Ghostbusters films in 4K. And
that's the guy from Mouth of Madness, isn't it?
Yeah. T-Rex.
But I was just saying, if the DVD version of both is anything to go by, how bad some of the special effects are dated and don't look good anymore.
Yeah.
Some of I thought really the Blu-ray they'd have to have done something.
It's
properly.
a collector's.
The reviews for 4K Ghostbusters I've heard are they've done a good job, but at the same time there are limits.
Yeah.
I was just like, why bother with that?
Yeah, you couldn't take a Renaissance painting and make it HD. Like they didn't.
Like painting
not every, but you might. Some paintings weren't meant to have sharp lines.
Yeah.
You couldn't make it better because it physically exists to look a certain way.
Yeah,
it's in the same way as like I could, if I'm photoshopping and I start with an image that's 100 by 100 and I try and blow it up to 2000 by 2000, it's going to look shit.
It's not going to happen. You've got to start again.
Yeah, if I start the opposite way and go down.
Star Wars Episode 7. The what's the chess game called? Help me out. Dodgy. They went to use the old maquettes, the old puppets, to reanimate it for Episode 7 from Episode 4. But they are latex and foam based. They're actually Phil Tippett gave them to Lucas. They're rotten. They're absolutely rotten. So Phil Tippett remodeled them. It was actually Adam Savage I watched going and doing an interview.
Wasn't he dinosaur supervisor or something?
Phil Tippett was,
because he did a thing, because it was the whole.
There
were a lot of. This is all your fault, you
had one job, Phil.
Yeah,
his reply on Twitter was, "There were a lot of them."
He had to remodel them. Sometimes the original just doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, and this is actually the reason I came onto the subject was because I was talking about on Return of the Jedi's Blu-ray, the Battle of Endor, you can still see some of the acetate, the brown acetate, because I'm guessing when they did the special editions, obviously they updated the Battle of Yavin because they added shots and did some new pans and things like that. With Jedi, they didn't touch anything, so all the film stock is still 1983 film stock. So you can see these brown acetate sheets around these fighters moving into space.
When they re-released it in '97, the Battle of Hoth.
Yeah.
The shot where Luke's snowspeeder goes between the legs of the AT-AT. It's in the original. If you watch the VHS, there's like a how we changed the movie at the beginning, and if you watch the original closely, they had to layer up the film so that actually you got the lines of the cockpit of the snowspeeder, and you're in the snowspeeder. You can see the leg through those opaque metal struts. You can see that they're semi-transparent because they had to layer them. And for the special edition, they opaqued them. That you can do, but certain things you can't do that. No.
I think I was coming back to the Phil Tippett responded on Twitter. I just love when celebrities get involved in Twitter like that recently. I mean, there was one I saw a screen grab of. I didn't verify. I so want it to be true. It's Black Lace tweeted at UB40 saying, "Does this mean your next song's going to be called Red Red Ken?" And UB40 replied, "Fuck off."
I want that to be true too. Which UB40 is it? Because there's two now.
Oh,
So
okay.
they had this really bitter split.
Oh, really?
yeah, I remember hearing something.
So when
So
they,
who got custody of Patabanton?
I'm not sure. I think they get alternate visitation rights or something.
Custody of Patabanton is the live tour name.
It's also the episode
I
title.
can't say it either. Patabanton.
Patabanton.
United Colours.
That's the
United
Angry
Colours
Birds.
of Patabanton. Patabanton. God, I haven't played Angry Birds in ages.
I love that you're just like, I can't say the name, and then you try even less hard.
That'd be like saying, "Oh, I really messed up that backflip. Let's jump on my skull."
Let me
Which
just
is
face,
how I play Angry Birds.
let me just face plant straight forwards.
Which is how I play Angry Birds.
Or by face planting your phone.
Yeah.
There is an achievement for going backwards.
Oh yes, there is. Yeah,
If you accidentally, most of the time you do it accidentally, but if you know
You
it's
don't
there,
let go and you ping it the wrong way.
You don't let go, and then you go, oh shit, and it goes the wrong way. You get an achievement for it. I can't remember what it's called. It's got some funny name.
Oh, that was
What did you learn?
There's a game I was playing recently that had really funny names. It wasn't like if you're playing the South Park game, you'd expect it to have
Yeah.
funny names for achievements. But there was one I was playing. I know, like for instance, there was the King Arthur movie.
Yeah.
The soundtrack, the names aren't like. There's one called like Hold the Ice,
Right.
which is the scene where they're fighting. But other than that,
Love isn't always
other than that, they're not like
on
you'd expect like Guinevere talks to Arthur to be the track
Yeah.
name, but they're called things like Just Another Brick in Hadrian's Wall
Right.
and stuff like that. They've all got like song titles.
Qui-Gon's
funny
Noble End.
yeah, fuck that.
I knew that was going to be the case. Like when they like sort of gave the ability to pre-order the Force Awakens soundtrack, and it was like track 1, track 2. I was
Yeah.
like, I wonder why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because someone lost their job.
WWE's been really, really bad at it with their DVDs. Always, so SummerSlam is the most recent one. They have a picture of I can't remember what the match was, but it was whoever had won the belt on that. No, it was Finn Balor.
Oh right.
Finn
Yeah.
Balor won the Universal.
Yeah.
It had him standing. So it was. So if you looked on the back, it said match to determine. It wasn't a defending thing, right? But it had him clearly because he'd worn the face paint, so
Yeah.
it was clearly worn out. So it wasn't fresh on. He'd finished the match, and it's him holding the title belt aloft.
Yeah.
And you're like, I am buying the DVD because I don't have the network. I don't have Sky. I haven't watched.
Yeah.
You know, I'm buying this to see this cool match that I've been reading about,
Yeah.
and I already know who's won,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Because it's on the front of the DVD.
Yeah, I was saying
It's
to
the
you,
Wicker
WWE are
Man
famous
all
for
over
doing it
again.
terribly.
I was saying to you the other day about this, wasn't I? If you've seen it on iTunes now, you can buy pay-per-views by the match.
Oh, really?
I think
Really
that's
cool
genius.
idea. It's a
I've
great
seen
idea.
some smaller companies have done that
Yeah,
with
I thought
indie
that
shows
was
before.
such a good idea. Like
Yeah.
if you're just interested in like, oh, I've heard that like Ambrose Lesnar's really good on
Yeah.
his cards, you just buy that match and you
Yeah.
just have access to that match.
That. And,
or you can buy the
and
pay-per-view
what
as
they
well.
do as well is
Just buy the
you are
bundle.
gonna get the trailer for the next match, or you're gonna get
Maybe, yeah.
a bit of, because that's why this is why commentators are taught to talk about other matches
Yeah.
during the matches, so that you don't turn off.
Right.
So when that happens, and because you paid $2.99, well, I might buy the rest of it because you're watching Lesnar Rollins,
Yeah.
and they're talking about Rusev. Kurt Angle, I don't
Yeah.
fucking know. And you might go, oh, I want to see that.
Really
They actually did that. What was the last pay-per-view? Clash of Champions, Night of Champions,
Night
Night
of
of the
Champions,
Champions, Clash of the Night of the Champions.
Night of the
because
Titans.
there was
Sound
a
for glory.
so they put the main event, the title match, on first
Yes,
because there was a
the debate.
presidential debate.
Yeah.
So they had an hour
Thanks,
of
Obama.
They had an hour. Nice. They had an hour of the pay-per-view.
I want somewhere just like there's an iTunes with Obama just listening. It's just like, don't blame me. I would have had the title match second to last.
They had an hour of the
Also,
pay-per-view.
I'm free next year if you want me to come on Crazy Train.
I would love that.
Yeah.
He seems like a nice
before
man.
Yeah.
before the presidential debate started, so everybody would change.
Yeah.
They had an hour of the pay-per-view.
Yes.
So they put the main event on first, so that everybody got to see the champion and
Yeah.
blah blah blah, and it was a great match. And then they put two. They've not done this in years. WWE always used to like, here's the first match, and now here's Randy Orton versus John Cena. There's a promo for it.
Yeah.
And then you wouldn't see that till 3 matches later. WWE doesn't do that. They play what they call their desire videos, their build-up videos, before the match is about to go on.
Yeah.
And they played 2 promos for matches that weren't on until later in the night to basically go, right, we've got an hour, so up to the hour mark they will just plug in the rest of the show.
Yeah.
Keep watching. Apparently it worked because the ratings were half decent.
Okay.
Not as good as they could have been, but it worked.
Yeah.
So putting so in that
They
case,
were all
that's
just
selling
hoping
the
that
match.
Cena's going to run in and smash Trump with a chair. I think.
No, it wasn't. It was Bobby Lashley and Umaga in the Donald Trump match.
Yes, it
wasn't
was, yeah.
And the president is Jones!
I would,
totally
given
fine.
the other choices,
Yeah,
yes.
fine by me.
Give me another choice. I'm all up for John Cena.
Fucking hell, give me other choices. I'll go with Blue Meanie.
Funny enough, actually, by the time this goes live, we'll know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
By the time
Well,
2 days later.
just to cover all our bases, I think I speak for us all when I say, Hail Hydra.
And what happens if Trump wins?
You're listening to the Crazy Train from your nuclear bunker.
Scarily,
Just saying. Polls said no. Polls said a tight government. The polls said no Brexit.
The advice someone gave me is check what bookies are offering. And now knowing this is going to go after we got the result and aware, I'm just going to smear egg on my face after the end. To be honest with you, but he said look at what the bookies are offering because they've got no spin, and if they're wrong, they stand to lose a massive amount of money.
Yeah, sure.
As of the time I checked, the end of last week, if you put £1 on Hillary Clinton to win, you would get £1.20 back.
Okay.
So
that's
20% back.
Yeah.
If you put £1 on Trump to win, you would get £5 back.
You are basically encouraging me to put one on Trump because fuck it.
Yeah.
It's £1.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
the thing that I think, to be honest, I'm going to say the same thing about that I said about Brexit. It's not going to be the apocalypse either way, much as we think it's going. Much as it sounds like it's going to be.
Like we were saying, it's not, and it's the same old argument. It's not what he'll do; it's what the people that believe in him will think, and do, and step up. Same as Brexit. And how much do we know as media spinning? We can go all day with the tinfoil hats on, right? But it was the bus racism. Do you know what I mean?
People were able to still import tinfoil.
It was the whole people. It became a phenomenon that there were loads of racists on buses, weren't there? But it was just where it was being filmed.
There was just one racist.
So it's a collection of people on in an area.
There was a racist on a bus.
No, there was a good few.
It was just seemed to be show. It didn't work. Let's move on. I really wish you'd stop bringing it up every fucking time we record. The racist bus. It seemed like at the time it might catch up.
Oh, the racist bus has entered Brixton and it's left. It doesn't stop here.
Is he alright?
You right?
Oh, the racist bus has just pulled through Chinatown and it's left.
The wheels are gone.
Oh, it's parked up in Kent. What a surprise.
Anyway, we hope you've enjoyed this episode of The Crazy Train from your nuclear bunker.
So yeah, fine.
Is nobody going to point out that his second name is a fart? Come on, you can't vote for a fart. In fact, I would like
wasn't
now,
that Hillary's slogan?
You can't vote for a fart.
Because everybody's already making the giant douche turd sandwich analogy anyway.
Yeah.
You don't want to put any sort of arse function anywhere near that debate.
No.
Anyway, speaking of arse function, that has been the end of
the back
episode.
end.
This is an episode of The Crazy Train. Thank you for listening to it.
What the fuck was that?
So that's
a racist bus.
Yeah, that's the racist.
Just goes past going because we all know racist.
Send them all back. Bring out.
No, you can't say bring out your. And I know what racial slur you were going to use, and it was going to be horrible.
No, I wasn't. No, I don't know which one I was going to use. That's actually why I stopped. That's doing good taste.
He doesn't know.
I was spoiled for choice.
I don't think there are any racial. No, there's no racist terms I can think of that rhyme with dead. So
true.
A real quick one of these. Real quick ones that make the whole I'm not things that make you sound racist but you're not. Playing World of Tanks Blitz on my mobile phone, right? There's a new tank being released and it's I can't remember what it is. It's a really good tank, but it's one of those in games you get the spam player.
Yeah.
There's the vehicle or the player or the gun that is good.
Yeah.
And everybody's using it. I think it's a Russian tank, but it's the SP-I.C. Right.
Okay.
And you just get, because it's a cheap tank with a big gun, it's fast, and everybody's like, oh, for fuck's sake, one of those got me. Yeah. All you get is goddamn Spix.
Also, that tank got me.
I typed it the other day. I was like, I just got shot by a damn Spic, and I'm like, oh my god, I've just realised what I've typed. But it's correct because I don't know if it's like
were you reported?
The Panzer 4 is like Panzerkampfwagen.
So long story short, I can't go on Xbox Live.
It's abbreviated to Panzer 4. So on the game, it's abbreviated to PZ4.
Panzerkampfwagen 4.
Right.
Panzerkampfwagen Wir. That's what it's called.
Okay, yeah. But if you write it on, because you've got a quarter of an inch to display that name on a phone screen, it's PZ4. PZIV.
Yeah.
IV.
IV.
But this one's shortened to Spick, and it's brilliant because you can't help but go, what got me? Oh, it's one of them bloody Spicks.
God damn.
It's like if Sweden are at home to Denmark in a football game, it just says Sweden at the top of the screen.
Yeah, I like that. That's a better one to end on.
Yeah. Dirty Swedens.
Hello. Welcome to Sweden.
Thank you for listening to the Crazy Train.
Dirty spook.
That's worse.
Spook. I said spook, a ghost. It's Halloween. Ooh.
Okay, good. Good save.
It's fine to say
That explains for
white.
That explains for White Cloak and Hood.
It's like you've been saving it up.
I know.
Unleash the full power of this fully armed and operational racist state.
You may fire when situated over a black country.
Oh my god.
Kill all those Nabooians.
Do you mean the Black Country?
Just the West Country.
What's that floating over there?
Oh god, it's a big old laser.
You got a little hole there. Someone to plug that up.
At least put a grate on
Destroyed by a laser.
Somebody
Luxury.
pointed out the other day, I watched a video
Look,
the
there's
other
the
day that
blue
pointed
media
out
running for president.
when that
Who was
proton
trying to trade
torpedo,
these before?
those proton torpedoes hit that exhaust port, why do they do a 90-degree turn and go down?
Gravity.
No, that's not how gravity works.
Magnets.
Yeah. To be honest, the designer of that didn't know that an exhaust port which blows out would suck in torpedoes. I feel sorry for him.
Yeah. It'd be great just to look in the Death Star control room. There's just a suck and blow. Back into
No, just blow out exhaust, suck in torpedoes.
I'd say we should do our own Star Wars podcast, but frankly, I think we are most of the time anyway.
well, yeah. Kind of, you know, the loose form is fine for this.
Welcome to the Suck in Torpedoes podcast. Not suck in, sucking. We're sucking torpedoes. I'm going to go and put my mouth on the end of a proton torpedo and suck off Luke Skywalker.
Why is he sucking pedos now?
I don't know. That's another spin.
God, I've done racism. You're doing paedophilia. This is terrible.
No, crazy, illegal disclaimers, Brad is not doing paedophilia.
That's for a separate podcast.
Look forward to that, never.
I think
The racist
we really need
bus.
to pull the communication cord
Yeah,
soon.
I'm working on it. So thank you for listening to the
Underage
Crazy Train,
coach.
especially if you...
The school bus.
So thank you for listening to the Crazy Train, especially if you've stuck with us through these last 5 minutes. I've been your host, Rob Wade, and thank you to Blake Harmer.
Bye.
I'm Ömer Ibrahim.
Where will it stop this week?
You right?
It's the play bus.
See you soon.
So, if you've enjoyed the show, you
What's
can
wrong with you?
find. Apart from that, you can find us on iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, and Feedburner. You can interact with the show on Twitter at Emotionally14.
But you will be on a police watch.
Yeah, well, you know, you can do that for pretty much anything these days, saying Christmas or whatever.
Don't let them Islamists tell you not what to do.
You can also find us on Facebook, Emotionally14. There's a website, emotionally14.com. There's a YouTube channel, 2 podcasts, this and the Gamecast. You can find... Where can they find you guys?
Not Medway, apparently.
Not Medway.
It's a large area, I know, but that's not where I am.
The other one, Potato.
I've got...
You got any social media?
I've got Twitter. I don't use it. So
You
don't
got a
use
Facebook
that.
page?
I do have a Facebook page. It's not kind of linked to this. Can't sleep must paint
Alright.
is my page for painting miniatures and bits and bobs like that.
Alright.
I update it as regularly as I can. Go check out things that I paint and doodle and cut and stick lights in and things
Alright,
like
sweet.
that. Also
Brad?
miniatures.
Cool. I'm at RealBradHB on Twitter and Instagram, or also write and edit tabletop gaming stuff at suppression-fire.com, and host the Hero Clicks video series Brick Fury on YouTube.
The HB
Alright.
stands for
Blake?
pencil.
I'm at fucksake Blake on Twitter.
That's true, he is. I love it.
Please get on Instagram.
And at some point when it's a dead form of media, I'll probably join Instagram.
Well, given the share price of Twitter.
what's my MySpace?
If you're only doing dead things, why aren't you on Vine?
Great question.
I checked out my Bebo account the other day just to see. It's still there and it's still terrifying.
Yeah. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at RobWadeVision. Thank you very much for listening. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.
Did he come?